The restaurant's candles flickered like nervous hearts. Outside, Austin's skyline shimmered in the Texas heat, but inside, the air between Ethan and Lena Turner was ice. It was supposed to be their 10th anniversary dinner, a rare evening without work calls or meetings. Ethan had even made a reservation at Basil and Oak, the same restaurant where he had proposed a decade earlier. He'd worn the blazer Lena once said made him look like a man who had his life together, but tonight he felt anything but that man. Lena was already scrolling through her phone before the waiter brought the wine. Her manicured fingers moved with quick precision, her face lit by the blue glow of the screen. Ethan watched her, jaw tightening. "You know, they make these places for people to actually talk," he said. She didn't look up. "It's work, Ethan, a campaign deadline." "It's always work," he muttered. "Last week it was a strategy retreat. Before that, a yoga getaway. Tell me, Lena, when's the last time we actually spent a weekend together?" Her phone hit the table with a light clack. "Don't do this here." "Why not? It's the only place you sit still long enough for me to get a word in." "Ethan," she warned, eyes flashing, "don't start a scene." He leaned forward, voice low but sharp. "You think I'm trying to control you, but I'm just trying to find you somewhere between all the things that keep stealing your attention." Lena crossed her arms. "You knew who I was when you married me. I've never been the stay-at-home type. I need my career. I need my space." He gave a bitter laugh. "Space? You've built a whole universe without me in it." Her lips pressed together, anger and defensiveness blending. "Ethan, I'm not your property. You don't get to dictate where I go or who I talk to." The words hit him harder than she expected. He sat back, the sting visible in his eyes. "I never wanted to own you, Lena. I just wanted a partner who wanted to be there. But I'm tired of feeling like a burden in my own marriage." The waiter appeared with the check, pretending not to notice the tension. Ethan slipped his card into the folder without a word. When the waiter left, he said quietly, "You're right, you're not my property." He stood, buttoning his blazer. "And maybe that means I should stop treating this like something I can fix alone." "Ethan," she said, voice cooling, "don't be dramatic." He looked at her, something final in his eyes. "Perfect. Then don't come home." Lena froze. "What?" "It means I'm done chasing someone who doesn't want to be caught." And with that, he walked out, leaving her staring at his untouched glass of wine, his wedding ring gleaming faintly under the candlelight. That night, Lena drove home alone. The house was too quiet, the bed too wide. She told herself she was fine. She'd asked for space, hadn't she? Yet as she lay awake, the silence pressed heavier than his words. For the first time, she wondered if freedom was worth the loneliness that came with it. A week passed since that dinner, and Ethan hadn't stepped foot inside their home. He'd packed a small duffel bag that night and driven to his brother's place in San Antonio. Days turned into a blur of long shifts at the construction site, coffee-fueled nights, and too many empty text drafts that never got sent. Every time his phone buzzed, his heart jumped, but it was never Lena. Not once. At first, he told himself he didn't care, that he was better off, but every night when the noise of the world died down, he'd catch himself thinking of her laugh, her perfume, the way she always left one sock inside the bedsheet. Small, stupid things that didn't matter, until they did. Back in Austin, Lena had filled her time with everything but thinking. She started going to early morning spin classes, stayed late at work, met her co-workers for drinks she didn't even enjoy. Anything to avoid the echo that waited for her at home. The apartment that once smelled like coffee and sawdust now smelled like nothing at all. She hated how his jacket still hung on the coat rack. She hated that she hadn't had the courage to move it. On the 7th day she cracked. It was Saturday morning, grey and quiet. She made coffee, his brand out of habit, and poured it into 2 mugs before realizing one would stay untouched. That was the moment something inside her gave way. She grabbed her keys and drove. The lake was their place. Every Sunday, no matter how busy life got, they'd drive out there with a thermos of coffee and sit on the tailgate of his old Chevy, talking about dreams they never quite chased. And there he was, Ethan sat on the truck bed, shoulders slightly hunched, thermos in hand, staring at the still water. The sight of him hit her like a wave. Familiar, solid, heartbreakingly distant. She stepped out of her car slowly. "You really weren't kidding," she said, her voice half a laugh, half a plea. He didn't turn around. "I don't make threats, Lena." She crossed her arms, shivering a little in the cool breeze. "So what? You're just done. 10 years, and you walk away over one argument?" Ethan finally looked at her. His eyes were tired but clear. "It wasn't one argument. It was 10 years of me asking for connection and getting excuses instead." Lena blinked hard. "I just needed space, Ethan. And I gave it to you," he said quietly. "But somehow, the more space I gave, the further away you went." She swallowed, her voice trembling. "I didn't mean to make you feel unwanted." He sighed. "I know, but love doesn't survive on intentions. It survives on presence." For a long moment, neither spoke. The lake was still, reflecting the muted sky. Then Lena stepped closer, her voice softened. "I don't want to be right anymore. I just don't want to lose you." Ethan studied her face, the pride, the fear, the regret. Then he reached for her hand slowly. When she didn't pull away, he said, "Maybe we start over, not as property, not as rivals, but as people who remember why they chose each other." Her eyes glistened. "Do you think we can?" He gave a small, tired smile. "I think we already did, just by showing up here." She let out a shaky breath and leaned against him. The silence between them wasn't heavy anymore. It was healing. As the sun broke through the clouds, warming the surface of the lake, Lena realized something she'd forgotten in her fight for independence. Freedom means nothing if you have no one to come home to. Moral of the story: love isn't about ownership, it's about showing up. In chasing independence, don't lose the heart that once made you want to share your world with someone else.